Rhonda? Okay. Okay, very good.
Hate to be on.
All right.
Else is gonna come.
Yes, exactly. Hey, Manuel.
Hey, I'll be like
Way
over
over
there.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to a meeting of the Cal ID Remote Access Network Board. And at the first point of order will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, visible.
Good. Thank you. And we have the portion of the meeting for the public comment. This is the first 15 minutes of each regular session is set aside for members of the public to comment on any item within the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda. Items presented under the public comment may not be discussed or acted upon by the board at this time. For items appearing on the agenda, the public is invited to comment at the time the item is called under consideration by the board. Any person addressing the board under public comment will be limited to a 3-minute presentation to ensure that all interested parties have an opportunity to speak. Any handouts to the board must be submitted to the chief clerk of the board for distribution to the supervisors. Anyone addressing, actually, distribution to the supervisors, I guess it would be more like board members, but anyway, anyone addressing the board needs to print their name clearly on speaker sheet at the podium. Also, all persons addressing the board must state their name and county residence for the record. Are there any members of the public who wish to address the board under this definition? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 3, additions to the agenda. I guess we're good.
There's no additions. I don't know why our mics aren't working. There's no additions, but there's a correction.
Okay.
Yeah. So your minutes say that it's for March 22nd, 2017. It should say March 28th, 2018.
Okay. Very good. So so moving on to item 4A, consideration of approval of the regular meeting minutes for March 28th, 2018, corrected. It would be an action item.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 4A. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carried. Item 4B, discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution adopting the RAND board budget for fiscal year 18-19 and appropriating and encumbering revenue derived from the DMV for authorized activities. Hi there.
Hi, members of the board. We prepared this budget for the current fiscal year, 18-19, in conjunction with the Auditor Controller's Office. And just so you know what the items represent, sorry, for the record, I'm Mary Binning with Lozano Smith, County Counsel's Office. All right, in the JPA Section 11, it requires that the RAND Board approve a budget which will be submitted to the Board of Supervisors each fiscal year. So upon your action today, this proposed budget will be submitted to the board for further approval. If you look at the line items, here we go. Line items in the budget, you notice that there's a fairly substantial beginning balance. The second line item under revenue is the DMV revenues that were estimated. We haven't gotten the final numbers for fiscal year 17-18, but this is what the estimate is based on the prior fiscal year. And interest on the accounts. Under expenditures, the key point as far as the state of California goes is that the funds are encumbered. The funds that we received in the prior fiscal year are encumbered. Doesn't mean they have to be spent, but it does mean that they have to be planned for some appropriate expenditure. As you had considered and approved at a prior meeting, there's a vendor fingerprint equipment contract with Cogent, Gemalto Cogent. That represents about $372,000. And in your JPA, there is a required administrative, a cap of 2% of revenues for administrative expenses based on the prior year's revenues. So that's the $2,695. So it's a simple budget. And if we have further expenditures, we'll come back with a budget adjustment.
So on the budget, it shows revenues, it shows a beginning fund balance of 779. So if we did the additions and subtractions, then we would have a ending fund balance of 585 or something.
That is
Projected.
correct.
Okay. Okay, very good. Are there any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. It's not really about the budget. It has more to do with the approved expenditure from March 28th. I don't think we designated who the point of contact for the county was, and we didn't ask Manuel. We didn't really discuss who the point of contact was going to be with Corey to move forward with the project that we approved. So I didn't know if you wanted to speak to that, or
Are we talking about the maintenance?
well, no, this would be for installing the accelerator and actually getting the blue check out in the field.
Okay.
And I didn't know, since Steve Smith left a number of years ago, I know corrections has been pretty much the point of contact prior to Brianna being clerk, and then
Correct.
she was, and then she left. And I guess I'm kind of lost on who our point of contact is now.
We can take the lead on that. That's fine.
If you want to, or if you need help
No,
from the sheriff's
that-
office, I'm
okay.
glad to send you somebody to help too, because
Okay.
that accelerator is actually going to be a big help to us
Yeah.
in terms of fingerprint.
I would say with the implementation field, absolutely.
So Manuel will probably be Michael Gonzalez?
Yes.
Could I just clarify, you're referring to the point of contact for the budget item that would be the equipment purchase?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
With that, I'd move to approve the budget as presented.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the budget as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to staff report. I've had a report.
I have nothing to report, sir.
Nothing to
Thank you.
report, okay. How about members? Member have anything to report?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Yes,
I have a report.
yes.
It sort of ties in with your prior comments. We've had conversations between the legal counsel for Gemalto Cogent, me, and Corey Kennedy, who's the sales rep, regarding the status and what we can expect and when. What we're waiting to bring back to the board is the rather detailed statement of work that's going to be prepared by Corey Kennedy. He's supposed to have it maybe this week, next week. When we get that, I think we have the contract terms pretty much nailed down. We'll simply be able to incorporate the statement of work with the contract and bring it back to you as hopefully a done deal for your approval.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. And our next meeting is to be determined, and so we will be in contact, or I'll be in contact with Rhonda. Rhonda will be in contact with us to establish that, so very good. And if there's nothing else, we shall adjourn.
It's going to come out of my office. Yes.
Frank, and yeah.